in what our player names are, all right? You should know just from that.
Yeah, they really do have 3 absolute all-stars in the South American region, and you can always trust the consistency, and you've been at it for so long now that you know that you really have to consider them RLCS veterans at this point, and that leads to very, very well-coordinated pushes, and there's not a lot of mishaps in communication, and Card gonna get a little help from Brad here to turn in the first goal.
I mean, phenomenal teamwork. Fortunately, thrown for the wrong team. Here comes Brad. There's the extra one. Put that one in. Yeah, that is Furia starting off. Roughly how we expect them to be throughout the series. Carnage coming in. We did see yesterday Noble doing a great job at taking the fight to Furia. But Furia have done a great job over the last few months of settling into a rhythm. And I feel like if Carnage are going to stand a chance here, they've got to go out of that comfort zone a little bit.
It's all about throwing the wrenches in the gears, so to speak, as huge clear from Kaio. Drops is ready to drop the hammer on him, and big save there from the defense of Furia. And it's all about those mix-ups. You start getting those defenses to think. If you're Carnage Gaming, you're going to put yourself in a lot more advantageous spots, especially with Tanner coming in, putting the pressure on you on defense. It's got to hang tough.
For their way out, that's not the clear that's maybe going to do it. A pass back. They're going to have another attempt at this. Reppy off the backboard, and Kaio recognized the danger. Don't want to allow any player in this region, I feel, to ever get any play off the backboard. They've always been lethal, but Brad's found himself too far forward. Follow-up from Card will be good enough. Well, I said that they've got to move themselves into a little bit of a more uncomfortable spot. That was too uncomfortable.
Yeah, and Brad was thinking about trying to be a real aggressive third man there, try and get a big key block. That's why he was driving so far forward to maybe cut down that pass that went down into the middle there, but he was just a couple of steps behind it and ended up leaving the back door open. Kaio to score off the kickoff, and they're cruising.
Oh, that is a beautiful hit. Obviously, no one up there to challenge, but the shot itself is challenging enough. You've got to get there at the perfect time, hook your car up above the ball, and somehow hit it with the right amount of power to just drop it in neatly. What a goal. And what a statement so far from Furia is. Tanda takes away the boost from his own teammate. Wants to have maybe his own attempt.
He's only got 90 scores, so he's like, come on, guys, get out of the way. I need to do something.
Anything. He's not one to be shown up. Reki looking to try and go over the top. Not going to get anything for it. What a horrid start this has been for Carnage.
Man, what do you... It's so interesting always trying to approach these early massive leads, and maybe one more their big pinch as Kaio forced to buy time. And here's where you really got to take advantage here. You caught him pushing hard. You got to make a mix-up happen somewhere, and Card able to get that delaying touch that makes the difference.
Goes yet again. He might get a second touch. Drops it to Brad.
Yes!
There's their chance, and it was too high to start with. Carnage had a chance to open up their account, and unfortunately, it's just too high.
Hurts your soul seeing such great attempts. Thank you, Brad. Okay, look at this recovery, actually. This is brilliant here in the midfield. He lands sideways, but he's holding power slide. So he holds a lot of momentum here, and that was smooth.
Yeah, I don't know what Card was quite expecting, but he wasn't expecting just such a nice touchdown to himself. Immediately takes the shot, so 3-1. You sort of alluded to it earlier, Achieves. You don't quite know how you're supposed to approach like a 3-goal lead that's established so early. Well, one step at a time seems to be the way.
There we go.
Almost a big leap towards getting this back. Drops, goes sailing past the ball. Furia they're looking unsettled here, and they need to settle back down.
Yeah, because you can definitely feel Carnage getting their hands more involved in this game, holding a lot more of the presence at the midfield line, starting to generate a few more chances, but that touch from Brad really has kind of squandered the opportunity to hold possession there, and this is really where if you're Furia, you need to get back in control of the game here with a couple of big challenges, but they don't have boost, and they're actually kind of letting them come to them and just give them the ball.
Drops is going to take his time, realizes that he's going to be under a little bit of pressure. Flip reset to get past the first player, as everyone was required to try and take that ball off him. Over to the wall. Drops will be midfield if they can find the pass, but just out of boost. And now it's Brad all by himself, at least for now. Kyle looks to try and find the block. Can't quite do it. Brad snakes the ball just past his car. And that buys his team just a little bit more time, as well as keeps them very much in this game.
Oh, what is going on? It's like Carnage is a couple of real nice touches away from putting together something pretty as Reppy, great save. Kyle actually undercuts it. Accidentally flipped under that ball a fraction too early and really letting Carnage off the hook there. Brad's been caught out a couple of times now in that third man role. It's definitely something to take a look at in the next couple of games. Either put somebody else in that spot, let Brad be that first chaser and just put the pressure on him and just have somebody else be your contingency plan, or Brad's got to make some adjustments and be a little more respectful, so to speak.
Oh, there's nothing respectful about that. Reppy can move on in. And with 29 seconds left, Achieves, we've got ourselves a real match.
Oh, and Card, I think he might have got caught up looking at drops and losing track of the people on the pitch there, because he started to drive forward as that ball was hit towards him and definitely losing track of something somewhere. And Furia gives themselves a chance. About 30 seconds is more than enough time to find one goal.
Oh, huge demo as well. Double commit, double the power on the clear. Will work out this time. Carnage reset. Reppy is out of boost. Forced to watch as that goes back over. Drops has to avoid being hit, as well as
straight up
hoping to see this ball away. But they might get something out of this. Not the best clear. They're going to leave it for Reppy. That was a little bit wasteful, but somehow Brad regathers the play. They look for one more. It drops down for Drops, and he's just beat to the ball. Furia, scrappy as it might have been, have got game one.
Well done to bring it back, Carnage, but not enough. So much to overcome too early. They had 3 minutes to get the job done, but it's always a lot to ask. But Furia, they really made a good show of it there, initially starting off the game. And Carnage Gaming, you gotta love the poise to get back into it, because it's real easy to check out of a match when you're down 0-3 with 2.5, 3 minutes left and just write it off. But push, 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 and they bring it all the way back.
Yeah, certainly has been the case. I mean, especially, you mentioned earlier on how Furia, this team of all-stars, they've seen, whatever major competition that has been available. We talk about back when we did have international competition as well. Furia have seen a vast majority of it. For Carnage, this is very much a step up for them. So when the pressure is on, it's going to be easier for Furia to react to it and to dig into that experience than it is going to be for a team like Carnage. But so far, impressed by what they did against adversity. Number one thing from both teams is this third man positioning. Everyone is being caught out.
Yep. That's really what let the game get a little bit out of control for Carnage in that first game. And looks like initially they've put drops back there, and we'll see if that continues to be the case. But you're absolutely right. That's how South America likes to play, though. High risk, very high reward, and not a lot of room for error in either department.
No, to be very quick, I would say the decision-making has to be accurate, but most of the time the decision is go. Not really much decision-making to be done in those positions as card goes up. Flip reset, past the first player, past the second player, and Brad. Now I'm a little upset that he's prevented a highlight reel goal from going in, but you know what? I can understand it.
It's exactly what Daz was talking about on the pre-show, actually. When you see those air dribbles coming your way, it's all about having the poise on defense. Just hold the boost, let them bring the ball to you. You had 3 players there. You don't have to all get scared. Just let the first guy go. If he gets by, worry about the second one. Reppy's going to make a save on the goal line. Pinch straight out into the middle. And Card to Kaio, probably trying to go back to Card. Tipped away by Brad. Great save.
Yeah, maybe a bit too cute from them on that particular occasion. They had the chance to set something up, especially off the backboard, which was available for them. Furia still looking confident, not dissuaded by what happened towards the end of the last game. Instead, they've got Kaio. And the longer he left it, the more the panic button was getting hit.
It was all about just beating the defense there. He knew he wasn't going to have a shot on target, so just try and keep possession here and look for a chance otherwise, and he executed that brilliantly, and indeed, it's going to pay off in spades. Tander to Kaio.
Try to see who that was tasked to. Is he coming back? Drops, awkward angle. He stops himself moving.
Ooh.
And that one moment of hesitation is what put his team in a whole world of trouble. Once again, Furia, first goal. Once again, it will be Carnage that have got to try and chase this one up. They don't want to go down by as much as early on as they did last time. It's going to be all about their ability to reset as Brad's attempt at an edge dribble is clattered away.
Ooh, big miss there. What do you do with it, though? Oh, he's looking to put this right on a dime to Card, excuse me.
Oh, wow. I'm going to claim this here. I don't know when it's going to be. At some point, we are going to see just the air dribble layoff from one of these South American players. I think I've seen it once before, but it's rare. And I think these are the sort of players that would love to go for it.
The handoff is very powerful. Card to himself, and Tander's playing too tight. Couldn't get back around the outside of it. That should have been a gimme for Furia.
I'll give Tander some credit there. He had two players in front of him who should have maybe hit it without him being needed. As Tander's going to be around once again. Up goes Kaio. They know they should have a 2-goal lead. They haven't got it. Brad looks to try and break.
And they really did make that adjustment over on Carnage Gaming. It absolutely does tend to be drops. Sitting back there as that third man, they realize that Brad wasn't cutting it, and he almost own goals it as he rotates back in. Kyle pokes one off the post. And Carnage scraping by on defense, but not through any merit of their own. Just the old fourth man there.
Oh, this should be the one. It finally is. Kaio dropping that one after all of the attempts that we've seen. Maybe it wasn't the prettiest attempt we had, but Brad, he'll land maybe before the kickoff. We're not too sure. Trying to get the crash mat out for him.
He did get taken to space right there.
Oh, good to see. All right, there he is.
Yeah, he's back down. But you were talking about that open backboard a little bit earlier there from Carnage, and Furia able to take good advantage of it. And look at the shot differential in this game as well. It's 13 for Furia, 0 Carnage Gaming.
Just nothing really to work with. No one to run onto that ball. You get the feeling that whenever you see the ball bounce like that in your side of the field, that's your chance to run onto it. Get the half volley. It's easy pressure dealt with. Instead, it's just so spread out, so ruined on the rotational side because they've been forced to react to everything Furia do. That goes into the midfield once again. No one can run onto it. So Reppy hooks himself around the ball.
There we go.
Finally a chance. Furia going to be tested defensively. Card takes it down. He's bumped off it. Reppy's turned back, and that's the end of the offense.
Reppy was initially headed in to take that ball for himself and didn't realize that Drops was going to have a play on it. And so he tried to correct the positioning, but the timing just was never going to work out, and so they had to fall back, and that's let Furia out of the cage, and it's going to let him score. Kaio puts in goal 3.
You mentioned the shooting earlier on. It is 15 shots to nothing in this game. Furia have dominated Carnage. And this has just been another disciplined display from them. It's Furia, once again, letting their class speak for itself.
I think discipline is the good word for it. It's, not trying to do too much. It's just they see space, and so they utilize that space to what they can do. And if it results in a weak shot on target, well, they'd rather have that than doing nothing with it. And as it stands, that's the first one registered for Carnage, and
that's being very generous.
A generous shot.
We'll give them like a half. There we go.
Right,
there we go. They're just taking long shots now, just hoping to get anything. But that is going to do it. Furia, half the job done.
Rough one for Carnage there. I mean, to be fair, they were playing decent enough defense. They only allowed 3 goals, considering, like you said, they allowed 15 shots on target. Just those ones that they got beat on.
Yeah.
Just 1, tough to defend. 2, it was kind of, it was in those situations where they've already been playing so much defense that they didn't have time to really get set and get a nice, strong touch out anywhere that could even be contested by one of their players. And it was just the product of we've been on offense so long that eventually you can't do much about it.
Yeah, you can play as much defense as you want to in Rocket League. Unfortunately, there is such a thing as too much. especially when you are only finding your first shot on target with 10 seconds left in the game. But for Furia, I mean, I know you obviously don't ever want to look beyond your opponents, but they'll be looking at Rebel at the moment saying, look, we didn't need any free wins. We're just moving on. We're smashing what we need to do at the moment. They're going to need to try and keep that up. Carnage, we've seen that they can peak. Whether or not they can do it yet again and find those correct positions will be massive. One thing I do want to see achieves is just commit some players to the middle. Let yourself run onto the ball rather than feeling like you're being chased around all the time.
Go out there and take some boost early, trust someone to make a clear and really get out there. It's not a bad strat, but it's not going to work here. Tander with control.
You knew it as well. As soon as he was here, he's pointing straight down. And the missile will finally find its way in. Furia re-establishing what they have done throughout this entire series so far. He holds his nerve, doesn't get hit. Ooh, and still to the other side of the field. This is their chance. Brad takes out the goalkeeper. No way you missed that one.
You can't miss that one otherwise. That's just a disaster if you do. You get that one big key block there at that midfield from Brad and following it up, making sure that it's a completely open net. Big block, and that's really what Carnage Gaming has needed a lot more of throughout this series is that one key block to hold possession, or at the very least a demo like that to stall out Furia and at least not have so many tools at their disposal when they get on offense. But it's not going to matter. What a touch from Kaio, and Tander makes sure it gets all the way in.
That's just not fair. Kaio, they just got some hope. What are you... They just scored a great goal. Let them have it for like 20 seconds, okay?
That had so much speed on it from Kaio. I mean, he's not at a dead stop as he jumps at that ball, but I mean, that's coming from the underside of the car, pretty much off the front of the wheels, and that just spiked straight towards the top of the net.
That's just relying on the pass, and it is something that this team over on Furia have done so well throughout the entire series. Sometimes the passes haven't quite been accurate, but they don't, you know, it's not a case where we've seen with so many teams where it doesn't work a few times, let's abandon it. They believe in what they are going for. As this is another attempt. Drops actually slid straight past the ball. He's not going to get punished for that, though.
Ooh,
out to Card. He's a bit too tight.
He is able to hold on to possession, though. Kaio back to Card, out towards the right-hand side. Unfortunately, Reppy in the right spot for it, and Tander trying to put this one on a knife edge and squeeze it under the bar. Good pressure here from Furia, but you got to be wary. They did finally have to concede a little ground, and here's where you need to hold control if you're Carnage. You've been fighting to stay alive, and now you got to hold Furia on defense here.
And that was wasteful. They sent two players over to that right-hand side. It meant for the third man, you've got to just hold back. It's a one-goal lead. You can't afford at the moment to send the house for a half chance. They get these opportunities. Carnage, yeah, they need to just relax and realize that that clock is their friend. The pass a little bit too high for Reppy. Couldn't really run onto the shot in the way he would like to. Left off the backboard, Reppy. Back to the corners. This is where they caused some mayhem last time. Card. Happy to see nobody's attacking him this time around.
It was great control from Card as well. That ball over the shoulder and just kissed it off the quarter panel and took it with him up the wall. That's a beautiful display of game management.
Kaio back over to his teammate.
There we go.
Just caught the ball halfway. Ooh, an annoyance as well from Furia because every time they get it, there's no such thing as a free challenge. They're not booting the ball downfield. This control that they get means that at the very worst, they get a 50-50 out of you, and it becomes just a rotational race to see who is going to get to it next. And Furia tend to be a little stronger in that regard.
Ooh, Reppy. Just an awkward approach, backflipped off it, and that gives a lot of map presence to Furia because if you don't continue that momentum of, you know, one team hits it, the other team hits it, and you're trading blows back and forth, as soon as one person misses it on one side, the other team just comes surging forward because they've got that extra time to get themselves set. And that's really where you can get yourself into hangups because they'll start winning the boost game in general, and then you're in a bad spot and you rely on a nice transition out of your own half.
Tander was waiting. He'll be waiting a little bit longer. The pass over to the sides. Not really wanting to commit all three at the moment. Instead, looking for the mistakes, and they are happening. Furia, no incentive to really push the envelope at the moment, because right now, Carnage will sort of collapse for them.
Ooh, they got him in a 2-on-2 here, though, and Card up nice and early, taking that one away. And great recognition on defense. Smash towards the top of the goal. It's off the wall, and Drops hoping he had a second look at it, and Tander as well, able to get another clear just under a minute.
And there's a bit of a lucky boy there. He was wandering a little bit off that goal line as the shot came in. Happy to see that the shot was at least off target. Oh, pass wide,
Game
I guess.
management. No, he was just dumping it off into the corner where they couldn't really do much with it. It's a great touch.
Something we've seen a lot more of as well, players not really wanting to send themselves forward. It's just, hey, you guys can have it, but you guys are going to have it in the worst place possible. You can figure it out beyond that. 20 seconds here. Carnage have at least got themselves on the scoreboard, but if they are going to make a series out of this, they've got to try and find one more play. Nobody in the midfield to receive that pass. Drops is already back, and Drops looks like he's done it fantastically, actually. Over towards Brad. Midfield is Reppy if they can get it to him, but Brad couldn't quite collect the ball. And Drops almost able to scoop his way underneath it, but it's not quite there. 3-0 Furia.
Able to keep it within one, but just never able to have that presence of mind or the positioning. You were talking about that and how important it was. You wanted to see people committed to the midfield for Carnage Gaming to go out there and be ready for whatever was about to happen. And whenever they needed it, it wasn't there. And when they got pushed back into their own half, a couple of missed touches really allowed Furia to come in, waste a lot of time off the clock, even if it didn't mean shots or goals for Furia. It was, just hang around the midfield line, grab some boost, go for a challenge, and see what happens next and readjust.
I think what scares me the most about this is that earlier on in that game, I said, look, don't bother sending all three. You've got 3 minutes left. You're going to get another chance. I don't remember where that other chance was. So for Carnage, those half chances, that's not how you want to start this one.
Oh, no. The kickoff goes
I believe I just heard the Johnny Boy sigh from somewhere.
Oh.
Nah.
It's not a bad follow-up. I mean, he's pretty much right on it. It just takes that
it's about as bad as the first hit as you could have got.
Just goes right around you, and the other guy is unfortunately gone to the opposite end as well to grab boost, so they're going to be late. Tander trying to bump Drops out of the way and get another early multiple goal lead as here's Kaio saved by Drops, and Furia, I guess that's a great name. They're not slowing down. There it is. Oh my gosh.
It's been one of those series for Carnage. Every single time they get even a little moment to just go, all right, you know what? We'll reset from here with a goal. We saw them get a goal, not too long ago in the last game. And then immediately Kaio's just like, yeah, but have you seen how I do this? Puts off an incredible pass over to a teammate. They get the, between game resets. Even then, we're getting goals, 3 goals sometimes within the opening minutes. It's been unrelenting.
Even that shot from Tander, I mean, it was well defended.
I think we found a way of relenting.
What's that?
Nobody plays.
Likely gonna have to find a pause here then, as everyone from Carnage appears to have stopped playing, and until that happens, you should probably just continue playing to the best of your abilities. But there it is, everyone gonna stall out there, but I'm still stuck on that shot.
Was that the ultimate caster curse or what?
Yeah, we need some kind of respite, like, aha. Brilliant.
Well, we've lost one of the players. We have to get them back in just a second. So whilst we do that for Carnage, figure this out. I mean, if there's ever been such a low, this might be one of the lowest percentages we can get in the RLCS. You're 3 games down, you're 2 goals down. It's not a fun place to be in. No. And they are, I think, fighting for their own pride and honor at this point. See whether or not they can get themselves a goal in this one. Maybe even fight back and take this, because, game number 4 is definitely not out of the way, and then maybe a step at a time. But we are going to be going back to 4:10 to the kickoff and playing the game out from there.
And what you're really going to need here from Carnage is, I think you want to see them score with, I don't know, give them 3 minutes on the clock, right? You can see them score before then. You want to feel like you have plenty of time. You don't want to feel rushed, because as soon as you feel rushed, that's when you start making mistakes. You get too aggressive, you try and do too much, and then you just allow that lead to continue to expand, because as we've seen in this series already, I mean, Furia is just, you know, they're on cruise control, like, all right, you're going to hit it here, we're going to be there, and we're just going to keep, you know, challenging you and putting you in a position where you have to make a decision. And Furia is under no pressure here. They hold so many cards, no pun intended, that they can just hang out and say, okay, what are you going to do this time?
Achieves, I promise I was listening. I was not looking at all of those replays and admiring the goals. That's not something I would ever do as a professional. But let's see whether or not we can get ourselves some more amazing goals to admire. We're back in. 2-0 still the scoreline. 3-0 in the series. Furia looking to take on Rebel in the next round, whilst Carnage, one baby step at a time, trying to get back into the series.
Oh, man. Are they really about to play keep away for 4 minutes?
Oh, Brad, not going to stay away from this one. That was towards it. Furia showing us a different side. It is not all-out pace with them. You mentioned when you spotted in the last game.
Oh my
what a
gosh!
Shot! Crossbar, no, bad crossbar. How dare you keep that out?
Oh, man.
Psionic.
Oh, no drops. No.
That's the one that goes in. All right.
Look, it's drops rotation into the goal. I mean, you get the banger off the bar and you get saved, and drops rotating back into the net. He gets murdered by what every brand new Rocket League player falls prey to.
We're going to go for a new petition here, Achieves. I'm going to ask for the crossbar to be 1 inch taller. And Drop's going to ask for the post to be a couple of inches wider. So that way he doesn't run into it.
Oh, no, are they going to score again? Okay.
Is this like a new challenge? Because it seems to be in the exact same spot every time as well.
It's just... I'm trying to think about, like, how you should be approaching this as Carnage, right? Because you're like, all right, we've got, you know, about 4 minutes, and you've just come off the pause. You've got a little bit of time to collect yourself, and then you just get instantly banger shot dropped on you. You make the great save coming out the back of the goal, and then it's just the rotational mishap, and that happens. You're like so close to being able to make the play, but it just ultimately doesn't matter.
2 players up against cards, and unfortunately 2 players were always going to be at a disadvantage in that matchup.
That's why he's King Card, man.
What a performance from Furia. And they have, despite taking 1 loss yesterday and looking shaky against Noble, they've proven to be a very resilient team and a team that will break you down throughout a series. They've got better and better as we've gone through this, just like they did against Noble.
Absolutely. I mean, Furia has just been rock solid, consistent, and then any slight mistake has just been jumped on as quick as you please. And what are you supposed to do if your drops? You have to respect Tander, but you got to realize that this shot, your only hope is that if your drops, you see that Tander's not going to hit a very strong ball and you don't commit early. But I mean, what are the odds that happens, right? I
think Drops' POV was a great way of describing how this game has been, because he did like 2 full 360s. He reached 720. Yeah. And at no point during any of that did he look like he was in a position that could play the ball. It has been an issue that started off as, you know, something to keep in the corner of your eye, to something that Fury have spotted, and they just, Drops.
Okay.
Is this
that would be the real like icing on the cake,
or what are you doing here, lads?
I score it? There we go.
Hey!
Okay. They get 1, but what did you say at the very start of this game? It was pride and honor. Well, there's your pride and honor goal. You got 1.
Get 1 more. Get 1 more, I reckon. I mean, we've got another minute and 50 here, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to sit here and listen to us talk about how impressed we are by Furia for another minute and 50.
Oh, no, don't do it. Okay, thank you, Tin.
Admittedly,
no, don't do it. Stop it.
Carnage look like a beat team here in Game 4. I don't blame them for that.
Well, that's what we were talking about in the last series, right? Those early 3-0 leads, you know, it's so easy to check out of a game and just kind of resign yourself to the loss because you're like, geez, they've already put up 3, right? And you've got, you know, 4 minutes left, and that is actually exactly what happened here in this game. It's just they were down 2-0, they got the pause, and then you unpause and then instantly get scored on, and then from that point on, it's just been not the same level. And Tander's going to put in 6 because why not?
The Carnage, this will be the replay folders that they'll least want to go back and watch, but are the most important ones that they're going to have, because every weakness that they've had has been attacked.
And it feels like the biggest weakness throughout the course of the series was really just, one, the positioning on defense got picked apart a little bit. And 2, it's when they just missed that one touch that they really probably should have had. And that just allowed so much pressure for Furia back the other way. And they're such a good team that they just didn't let go of it, you know? It's like letting the dog grab the rope and then it just starts tugging and refuses to stop until you give in.
For me, it's been the fact that the rotation has just been so narrow from them. You don't see people hooking around towards the back post. It's right here from Reppy. He's covering the goal as much as he can, but there's just, there's nothing you can do. If the ball goes up above you, you can't clear to the corners. You're basically putting it
off the wall,
off the backboard. But you know what? I don't want to just beat up on a team that has shown their best this weekend. Unfortunately, their best was not good enough to take on the monsters over on Furia. They're through to the semifinals, and they've done it in style.
Style is the right way to say it. Some brilliant pressure, great control. How to manage a game was on display to a T when you've got a lead, and the consistency with which they were able to apply that pressure throughout the entire match. Furia dominating head to toe, start to finish.
I mean, what else can you say? A 6-1 over here. A game where they only had the first shot against them, and it was a speculative goal at best. In game, what was it? Game 2? It was a performance and a half there from Furia, and they have got themselves through to the semifinals. They'll be taking on Rebel, and that is something that I am so excited to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, the growing depth. This has been a region that is putting so many better teams together, and we're seeing how Iron is sharpening iron over here. But in our next quarterfinal, we've got Erased and Euphoria. That is going to be phenomenal, and that is up next.